Hey guys, welcome to Fantasy Tip. Max here with you for another weekend ads video. Fresh off a 4-0 week for week 12 and hoping to do the same for week 13. This week we have a very light schedule. We have 3 games on Friday, 12 games on Saturday, and 4 games on Sunday. Things are getting back a little bit more to normal compared to last few weeks. For Friday and Saturday, we have the Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils. At number 1, we have Seth Jarvis. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've never personally owned Seth Jarvis in any leagues, but he's breaking out well this year with 13 goals, 14 assists, 27 points. That's 12 short from his 39-point campaign last year and 13 short from his career best in 21-22. I've always seen him as a complementary piece and kind of streaky, but at the moment he's got 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in the last 10 games, making him the top option for Friday, Saturday. At number 2, Teuvo Teravainen, just like many Hurricanes players, he's had a rough December. 2 goals, 1 assist in the last 14 games since December 2nd. That's really tough considering he doesn't hit or block much. But his deployment, however, this week is amazing. He's on the top line with Sebastian Aho and Svechnikov and should get going soon. Straight from the fourth line, Michael Bunting. Bunting is being used as a power play specialist on the top unit. He's got 8 points in the last 8 games. At number 4, we have my favorite Devils option right now, that is Dawson Mercer. He's been kind of hot recently after being a ghost for the first month of the NHL season. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points in the last 5 games from the third line, but he has been playing around 20 minutes per game. At number 5, here's a guy Rod Brandamore absolutely loves. Second line at the moment with Martin Necas and PP2. That is Stefan Noesen, of course. At number 6, we have Jordan Staal. You don't necessarily get Jordan Staal for his point production, but the veteran is extremely efficient at the circle dot and throws his body around. He's amazing for Cats League. He has 5 shots, 29 faceoffs won, and 12 hits in the last 3 games. And finally, we have Andre Palat and Eric Haula. I prefer Palat if you ask me to pick out of the two. Both players are on Nico Eisher's wings, and they both play on the PP2. Here's a bonus player. He's 0% rostered. I really like him. It's Jack Drury for deep leagues. He's a gem. Forget fantasy hockey for 1 second. I think Jack Drury has been NHL ready for years, but Carolina is so deep that he barely gets a chance to showcase what he can do. He is their 4th line center right now, and he plays on the PP2. He's got 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points in the last 16 games. 2 of those points came on the power play. And fun fact, he is Chris Drury's nephew, who was one of my favorite players growing up. Now let's jump into the Friday and Sunday section, the off days, the very important days. We have the Anaheim Ducks, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Washington Capitals, and the Winnipeg Jets. For another week, Nikolai Ehlers, Gabe Vilardi, Jets duo back on top. They both did go pointless in the last 3 games, but that should change quickly. Expect them to light it up and get on the scoreboard real soon. At number 2, once again, Philip Kurashev is back in the rankings, but this time I put him comfortably at number 2. He is the best under 5% rostered player playing on the top line with Connor Bedard, and he is on the Blackhawks PP1. He's got 5 points in the last 4 games and is 3 points away from his career best of 25 with 41 less games played. Buy low while you can. He will be above 10-15% rostered in a few weeks. At number 3, Tom Wilson. The bad man has a 6-game pointless streak, but that doesn't matter. His shooting and hitting volume is absolutely elite, so if you catch him on the wire, snag him up. His teammate Dylan Strome, whether he plays first line or third line minutes, doesn't matter because he's been cemented as the PP1 option in Washington for quite some time, and therefore he is a good option fantasy-wise all the time. Trevor Zegras has 3 points in the last 4 games since being back from injury. Second line center, PP1 option in Anaheim. At number 6, Max Pacioretty. If Patches is back this weekend, I'm all in and own him everywhere. To those worried about his injuries, go look at Patrick Kane's game log. At number 7, Mason McTavish, top line action, PP1 option, kinda inconsistent, although 24 points in 29 games speak for itself. His teammate Alex Killorn is also on the Ducks PP1 and is a boomer bust candidate of the week. At number 9, Yevgeny Kuznetsov is having the worst season of his career by far. 11 points in 30 games, a staggering 9 games in a row without a point. It's hard to contemplate Kuznetsov as a good fantasy option. Maybe I'm dreaming in colors, but I think Pacioretty coming back will lift the middle 6 up in Washington, and Kuzi could be a big winner out of the bunch to get out of the slump. Also, he's being reunited with Alex Ovechkin this week, and they do play on the off nights. Fine, I'll bite. At number 10, Anthony Manta, one of the Caps guys who's actually been looking good lately. Very inconsistent, but he has 4 goals in the last 5 games and 19 shots in the past 6 games. At 11, we have Nick Foligno, who was downgraded to second line, but still cruises on the Hawks PP1. Loads of hits makes him an attractive option for deeper leagues. At number 12, Adam Henrique, third line two-way forward who's really good on the power play. He has his moments of brilliance. At number 13, I have Cole Perfetti and Nino Niederreiter. I've given up on Alex Iafallo, although the coach seems hard-headed enough to keep him on the PP1. Perfetti and Niederreiter are both on the PP2 and have been producing much more consistently. And finally, Anthony Beauvillier, 3 points in the last 4 games. He took Nick Foligno's top-line spot alongside Bedard and Kurashev. For the Saturday and Sunday section, we only have one team, and that team is the Calgary Flames. At number 1, Nazem Kadri. Personally, I don't own any Calgary Flames players in all 4 of my leagues. I did at some point, but the inconsistency was way too frustrating. Uberdo. If there's one Flames player I go back to occasionally, it's Kadri. He's on line 2 and PP1 and has been good in December, totaling 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points in 13 games. At number 2, we have Elias Lindholm. I think Lindholm is a Stanley Cup second line center caliber type of player. I hope he gets traded at the deadline and goes into a winning team to show what he's actually capable of doing. At number 3, we have Blake Coleman, who's probably the only bright spot this season in Calgary. Blake Coleman's having himself a career year, 26 points already, good shot volume, and an awesome plus 14 ratio. We also have his linesmate, Mikael Backlund, who's got 18 points on the season, plays PP2, but he only has 1 power play point compared to last year's 12. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, at number 5, Mr. Jonathan Huberdeau. And truthfully, he could have been 6th or 7th on this list. He finally ended his slump last weekend with an helper, but the fact he's having such a horrible season and is only rostered at 30% is mind-blowing. It took a while, but I dropped him long-term. But hey, he might be a buy low candidate. I won't do it, but some of y'all might end up doing it and being labeled as geniuses by season's end. Hubie, who's been up and down the lineup, is currently slated as the left wing one in Calgary, and he still gets PP2 opportunities. His offensive talent is undeniable. At number 6, we have Connor Zary. Although he is trending downwards with only 1 assist in the last 5 games, Zary has been the most consistent youngster on the Flames. And finally, at number 7, Yegor Sharangovich. Now listen, I know he's been really good. So good that he took Huberdeau's place on PP1. He does play with Ubi and Lindholm on line 1. He's got 11 points in the last 11 games, including 6 goals. Some of you might ask, but why rank him so far? Truth is, he's never been good to me fantasy-wise. Every time I scoop him up, I'm left in mere disappointment. And I'm sure that if I recommend him to you guys, same thing will happen. His peripherals are atrocious, so if he doesn't do any points or do anything, he doesn't do anything. Yes, he's been really good, but I see him more as a boomer bust candidate, and I'm not that interested in Sharangovich. Call it fantasy PTSD. Now on to defensemen. Number 1, Jamie Drysdale. 5 games since being back, he has overtaken the PP1 spot. He's got a goal, 10 shots, and 13 blocks during that time. It's only a matter of time with his utilization until he gets on the scoreboard more often. At number 2, Brady Shea. PP2 in Carolina, already up to 21 points and 81 shots this season. We also have Noah Anafin, who has 17 points, plays in PP2 in Calgary. At number 4, Neil Pionk, 4 points in the last 7 games. 14 shots, 16 hits, and 4 blocks to go with it. We also have Cam Fowler. Sure, Drysdale took the PP1 spot, but Fowler kept his PP2 spots. He's got 5 assists in the last 7 games. At number 6, Rasmus Sandin, 2 assists in the last 3 games. With Pacioretty coming off of IR, the PP2 in Washington will get stronger, and Sandin could get a big boost. We also have Brendan Dillon, good two-way defenseman, 11 points, plus 10, 92 hits, 55 blocks so far. At number 8, Simon Nemec, he's up to 5 points in 14 games in his young career. Also owns the PP2 spot since Dougie Hamilton's injury. At number 9, Alex Vlasic, who's been a pleasant surprise on Chicago this season. He's got 2 assists, 9 blocks in the last 3 games. He's up to 8 points and plus 9 in 30 games. On a bad Chicago team, that's really good. Kevin Korchinski is the PP1D while Jones is out, but he hasn't really lived up to the hype so far. Boomer bust candidate, night in, night out, but he is minus 18. And finally, we have Pavel Mintyukov, who's having a great season with 18 points in 36 games, but he is trending downwards. He's lost the PP1 spot to Drysdale, and his ice time is plummeting down. He's played a little over 12 minutes last game, and he's down to the 3rd pairing in Anaheim without any power play time. I would fade him compared to the guys ahead of him in the rankings, but the options are low. Now let's jump into the goalie options for Sunday. My number 1 is John Gibson. He has posted an above 900% save percentage in 6 of the last 8 games played. I think Anaheim at home against the Wings on Sunday is a trap game for the Red Wings, and Gibson should be a solid option. At number 2, Dan Vladar. Is Vladar a great NHL goalie? No. Does the Calgary Flames have the best Sunday matchup on paper? Absolutely. At number 3, Karel Vejmelka. Not the greatest matchup against a hot Winnipeg Jets team, but the Arizona Coyotes have gotten shutouts consistently in the past month, and they'll be at home. Expect a tight 3-2 matchup that could tilt on either side. Just like the Coyotes, the Capitals are going against a Stanley Cup contender team and are facing probably the most complete team in the NHL in the Kings. But Washington at home might be a different beast than on the travels. If you're scared of Darcy Kuemper's recent turn of events, I will invite you to take a look at his game log and realize that he's only had 1 home game since November 22nd and 2 home games since November 8th. Very difficult to do what he's doing in the NHL, and I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. And finally, Alex Lyon or James Reimer, one of the Detroit duo, will be up in a trap game in Anaheim. This is at your own risk. For the shot category, we have Nazem Kadri at 3.2, Ehlers and Vilardi at 2.9, Tom Wilson at 2.8, Lindholm at 2.7, McTavish, Coleman, Backlund, and Niederreiter at 2.5. For the block categories, we have Chris Tanev at 2.8, Connor Murphy at 2.5, Lyubushkin at 2.5, Crevier, Tinordi, Vlasic, all Blackhawks at 2.2, 2.1, and 2. And finally, Jamie Drysdale also has 2 blocks per game. The hit section, we have Tom Wilson, Jared Tinordi at 2.9, Gudas Pospisil at 2.7, Brendan Dillon at 2.6, Fehervary at 2.4, and Melenstein and Blackwell at 2.3. For faceoffs, we have Lindholm at 11.1, Jordan Staal at 10.3, McLeod 9.4, Backlund 8.8, Lowry 8.5, Enrique 7.9, Strome 7.7, Dickinson 6.7, Kadri 6.5, and Kuznetsov at 6 faceoffs a game. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys start the year on the right foot and get a much anticipated W that you deserve. If you like the content, click the like button, subscribe to our channel. It's always much appreciated, and I will catch you guys soon.